the faith, smile and keep the faith, smile and keep the faith, smile and keep the faith. Positivity is something you should have, so just stick around and tune in to Cam Davis Podcast, a place to talk about sports and elevating each other to be the greatest through different forms of motivation. Such a sensation when you finish an episode and use a lesson you learned on this rocky road called life. But take it one step at a time and everything will be alright. Alright, yeah. Believe in yourself, cause you can do it, and trust the process in your journey and never lose it, cause you are destined to be great. So all you have to do is smile and keep the faith. Just smile and keep the faith. Just smile and keep the faith, yeah. Don't let anything try to ruin your day. That negativity will go away. All you have to do is smile and keep the faith. Just smile and keep the faith, yeah. Don't let anything try to ruin your day. That negativity will go away. All you have to do is smile and keep the faith. Smile and keep the faith, ayy.
What's up, everybody? I appreciate you tuning in to another episode of the Cam Davis Podcast. You're listening to the voice. Come on and dig me now, Camron Davis. And you already know some things in life I just can't do alone. I got my big dog with me, David Michael Castillo. What's up,
yes,
big
sir.
bro?
What's up, bro? Hey, we back, baby. Episode 2, man. I mean, season
20.
Season
3.
Episode 20. My bad.
Season 3, episode 20. Come on, big bro.
Hey,
get it together.
Second episode of the 3rd season. Y'all know.
There you go. There
Hey,
you go. Go ahead.
we
Thank
back,
yourself.
baby.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. We back, and we back better than ever. Man, before we get into this thing, man, let's go ahead and shout out the supporters and everything like that. Over 100 views already. Over 100 subscribers on YouTube already, man. I appreciate y'all. Go ahead and give it up to the subscribers.
Thank y'all.
Supporters and things like that. But not only that, man, over 1,000 views on Instagram, over 600 views on TikTok, and over 400 views on Facebook, man. So shout out one more time. Shout out to the fans and supporters and things like that, man. I appreciate
Hey, quick shout out to Cam Davis class, man. Hey, y'all keep supporting us too. Shout out to the students, man.
Hey, man, we finna talk about them, man. We finna talk about them, man. So, hey, you ready?
Hey, you know I couldn't wait for this one, baby.
Man, listen, bro. I came home. I was doing some work earlier today. I came home, and usually before the episodes, I like to write out little snippets and footnotes and things of like what I want to talk about, man. So I laid down, and I was gonna take a nap once I finished, but man, I laid down, but then I wasn't laying down for too long. Then I started sitting up. And then I wasn't sitting up for too long. Then I started standing up, man. I just kept on getting excited. And then after I stood up, then I kept walking around, man, because, you know, when you start to think about the goodness of Jesus, come on.
Oh, man. Hey,
man,
feel it all over your body.
Hey, them old folks at St. Luke, one of them old ladies would have started shouting right there. You feel what I'm saying? But when I started thinking about the goodness of Jesus, man, I just couldn't stop. I couldn't sit. I couldn't lay down no longer. I just had to start moving, and my blood started flowing, man. And I'm super excited about this episode titled, What Have You Learned?
Come on now.
What have you learned? Big dog, I believe that some of the most impactful occupations in the world, man, that those are those in healthcare, such as a doctor, a nurse, whatever the case may be with that. Also a minister, a preacher, or a pastor, man. A lot of people think just because my dad a pastor, they think I'm on here preaching and things like that. Nah, I ain't got my calling yet. But another type of impactful occupation is a teacher, and I can't speak on that because I've been teaching, big dog, for now 3 years. 3 years
man.
now. I'm in my 3rd year, and I can teach on that, big dog. So you mind if I go ahead and get into this thing, man?
Teach us all a lesson. Come on now,
man. Listen, so I want to be liked. You know, I want to be liked by people, and I want to be loved by my students. I believe, I'm not saying this boastfully, but I believe that I'm one of the most liked teachers and loved teachers by the students on my campus. We got a whole bunch of great teachers on our campus, but I believe that I'm one of, all right, not the one. I believe I'm one of the most liked and loved teachers on that campus. But we talked about that but word last week. That means something about a change. I'm liked and I'm loved. But on test day, on test day, on test day, I'm hated, big dog. Coach Davis, why? Coach Davis, why you got to give us a test? Coach Davis, why do we have to take a test?
Yeah.
Right? And big dog, the students, we talked about how biblical stories translates to real life stories. But big dog, can I tell you that the lessons that I learned from these students translates to my everyday life lessons.
Come on.
So man, the students,
Yeah.
they take what you call a test.
Mm-hmm.
And what a test is, man, is to see how much you have grown and how much do you know from the things that you've experienced and learned in the past. Man, so they come in on test day and they're discouraged. They come in on test day and they're defeated. They come in on test day and they lose the confidence in the things that they have learned in the past that I've taught them. I know I taught you.
Yeah.
I teach it for 6 periods. I know that I taught you. But they lose the confidence on test day. Can I tell you, that's the same thing that us grown folk do?
Man.
Us grown folk, when God puts us to the test, we lose our confidence. We lose our ability to think and process and things like that. We become discouraged, right? Why? What have you learned? Sooner or later, you should think about what all you have been through, right? There's a little story about a preacher. He was preaching to the congregation, and the preacher was going on in his lesson, and he was talking about how good God has been, and he was saying this and that about God, and he noticed a person out in the congregation, an old lady, and that old lady in that congregation, every time the preacher would say something, that old lady in the congregation would do this. That old lady would just turn around. Yeah. And then he'll go on again and again, and he'll keep on talking. The preacher will keep on talking, and the old lady would just turn around. And that preacher started to notice this old lady continue to turn around. So then after the service had ended, the preacher went up to the old lady and he said, "Excuse me, ma'am, I appreciate you for coming to service, and I hope you enjoyed yourself. But I just got one little question for you. Why do you keep turning around as if somebody's behind you, as if somebody's coming up on you, or if you're worried and you're nervous about something?" That old lady told the pastor, he said, "Pastor, I'm sorry, but every time you talked about God's goodness, I just had to turn back and see how far God has brought me." Yes, sir. She just had to turn back. So every now and then, all you have to do is just turn back and see how far God has brought you. But back to my lesson about the students and teaching the students is, no matter how young or old you are, think about a time where you went through something, right? When you were put to the test, right? Think about a time, no matter how young or how old you are, think about a time where you were put to the test, right? And I'm not talking about just your teacher put you to the test. When God put you through the test, right? When God put you through a test, right? When a storm came in your life, when fire came in your life, and you had to put a little faith in your fire. Think about a time, right? When things didn't go your way, right? When they didn't go the way you wanted it to go, situations didn't happen the way you wanted it to happen. Think about a time in your life where you were put to the test. Did you learn something from that test? Did you grow through what you went through? One of my favorite quotes is, "Grow through what you go through." Don't just exist. Don't just do this and that just to get through the 24 hours of the day. You ought to learn something every single day that you're here on this earth. Yeah. Go ahead and grow through what you go through. See, God allows us to experience the low points of life in order to teach us the lessons that we can learn in another way. Okay. The beautiful thing about learning is that no one can take it away from you. I tell my students that learning is an option. The reason why learning is an option is because paying attention is an option, right? Giving effort is an option, right? Not quitting is an option. So learning is an option. Now, do I expect mastery? That's the words that we use in school now. Do I expect mastery the first time I teach you something? No. We have this test called a growth measures test, and we give this test 4 times throughout the school year. One at the beginning, the second 9 weeks, third 9 weeks, and the fourth 9 weeks. Can I tell you at the beginning of the school year, my test scores are low and it's
Yeah.
expected. I want them to be low. You know why? So we
I'm
can
sure that
grow.
growth. Yeah.
So we can show our growth and see how far we have come. You know what I'm saying? So that's what I get from the school. And what have you learned as an adult? What
Man.
have you learned? What have you been through? What has God put you? When has God put you through the test? And did you come out of that test better and stronger than ever? What
Man.
have you learned?
Man. Hey, before I go, Cam, I do just want to let the audience know, man. Comment on the podcast. Comment on the Instagram. Comment on the TikTok. Just let us know what you've learned. You know what I mean? Um, it was a dynamic, Cam, when you sent me this one. What have you learned? Because so much has gone through my head about what I've learned. So I was excited, man. I was juiced up. I had to cut back so much of what I was actually putting out because I said, man, I can't take too much time at the podcast. But I remember a time, Cam, and I know I'm gonna hit a sensitive subject with some folks. But I remember a time when I wasn't paying tithes, and I had a cousin of mine, and I was telling him about all the hard times that I was going through. He said, "Man, so what are you doing? You giving God your time?" I'm like, "Yeah, I'm reading my Bible every day. I'm praying when I wake up. I'm praying when I go to bed. I'm trusting in the Lord." He said, "Oh yeah, you paying tithes?" And I was like, "Yeah, and I'm giving maybe $5, $10. I'm paying, but I'm not being obedient to what God asked me to do, right? And give my 10%. And it's more that goes into the story about tithing, but I was in a position where I could tithe. Then I experienced some things. I lost my job, Cam, and I was wondering why it was so hard for me to make ends meet when I had the job. And at the end of that, I started paying tithes. And what I learned, Cam, is that God wanted me to put Him first. He wanted me to give the first 10% of that to Him, so He can show me how He can turn that 10 into another 100. And when I lost my job, Cam, I was paying more bills and doing things for myself when I didn't have a job than when I did have a job. And what I learned from that is God wants us to trust Him. Another thing, man, Cam, is funny because I thought about the lesson. It made me think about children. We're always told to do something, but it's not until after we experience something for ourselves that we learn, right? That's hot over there, Cam. So I don't want you to touch the stove. So what did we learn? We learned that if you touch the stove, you're gonna learn that it's hot and you're gonna burn yourself, Cam. And I remember when we was young, man, we used to play around in the house all the time. And sometimes we learn lessons and sometimes we learn hurtful lessons. And I remember your mama used to always tell us, don't run around the house when you're inside. And it wasn't until we were running around the house on the inside and Cam came across and, it was a situation where we had to jump to the emergency room. And we learned right then and there, don't run around the house because you'll hurt yourself. Cam, the
Hey,
Bible gives us
hold on. Let,
examples.
let me hold on. Let me clear that up real quick, big dog. My mama
Uh-oh.
didn't beat me. Okay, my mama was cooking, and I was running around the house because these fools, Kobe and David, were chasing me. Yeah. So let's go ahead. And my mama was cooking. She turned around with a pot, and then boom, got me right across my eye. So yeah,
We learned, don't run in the house.
yeah. That's what we learned on that day.
The Bible, Cam, it gives us examples, but we truly learn from experiences. The Bible is the basic instructions before leaving Earth. Cam, you know what I'm saying? You may give a math example. You may tell them, you know, what their work is, but it's not until they actually put the problem on paper and start working it out themselves that they actually learn from experience, Cam. And I remember that
Hmm.
I wanted to take a leap in a faith and invest in myself, and I started a dispatching company. And Cam, I ain't gonna lie, I was afraid. I was like, can I actually do this? I thought about the who, what, when, where, why. Like, who's gonna be my clients? What will I do to promote myself? When should I
Yeah.
start? I mean, where I'm gonna have an office, and why these people gonna choose me out of all these people that's doing some dispatching? Why? And for a minute, Cam, I prayed to God and I fasted, and God told me to write the plan, make it plain. Every
Write the
step of the
vision and
way,
make
He
it
wanted me
plain.
to write it down. And Cam, man, I got to the edge of that cliff. and I felt like I didn't have no wings. You know what I'm saying? But I went ahead and jumped because God told me to go ahead and take that leap of faith, Cam. And man, as you already know, man, I started a very successful dispatching company. But you know what I learned, Cam?
Yeah.
Proverbs 3, 5, and 6. Trust in the Lord with all your heart. Do not depend on your own understanding.
Lean
Seek
not. Yes,
God
sir.
in all that you do, and God gonna show you the path, Cam. You know,
Absolutely.
last season I spoke about, first season I spoke about a little episode about an embarrassing experience that I had when I was 19 years old, man. And I got into some trouble. I was just being young and dumb. And I remember I was dating a girl, and her father was a pastor, and he was really nice, very nice, man. And you know, when he spoke to me, his words carried a lot of value. And I'll never forget, you know, we went to his house and I was talking to him, and I'll never forget how he looked at me and how he made me feel, Cam. And he said to me, he said, man, how could you make such a dumb decision in your life? Your life is ruined. He said, all
Mm.
you're going to do is work in a warehouse for the rest of your life. And that stuck with me, Cam, but it's so ironic how somebody can say something for you, but God got something else for you, man.
Yes,
A
sir.
few years later, Cam, I wound up working at the biggest warehouse in the U.S. in size and distribution at the Houston Food Bank.
Warehouse that.
Come on,
Warehouse
man.
that.
Come on, man.
Warehouse that, dog.
But you know what I learned, Cam?
Yeah.
I learned that whatever God blesses, no man can curse. Whatever
Yeah.
God delivers, no man can bind. And what God saves, no man can condemn, Cam. What
Talk to me.
God gives you, it cannot be taken away. Romans 11 and 29 said, for God's gift and his call can never be withdrawn because his word never comes back empty. So that means whatever God say, that's what it is, and there ain't nothing else to it. Isaiah 55 and 11. It is the same way with my word. I send it out, and it always produces fruit. So whatever God say is good, it's always going to reap a harvest. You understand what I'm saying?
Talk to me.
Whatever God opens, it cannot be closed. Revelations 3 and 7 can. What he opens, no man can close. And what he closes, no man can open. It's in the word, Cam. We ain't making it up. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
What God tells you, it cannot be unsaid. Numbers 23 and 20. Listen, I have commanded to bless, and God has blessed, and nobody can reverse that. So what have I learned? I learned to have faith in God, Cam. No matter what challenges we face in life, if we turn to God, he will teach us, and he will make us more like him. Psalms 23 and 4 says, I will
Keep
fear no
going,
evil,
boy.
for thou art with
Yeah.
me, Cam. Hey, through all these trials, Cam, through all these tribulations, disappointments, and experience we go through, sometimes, Cam, we won't know what God is willing to do for us until we're in a situation to where only God can do it. God
Yeah.
will not walk you to what he won't walk you through.
Yeah. What he
God is the
won't bring
only
you
one.
to.
And I want y'all to think about what I'm saying, because when I put this on pen and paper, on the paper, it wasn't me, it was God giving me this. God is the only one, Cam, that can turn a bad situation
Mm.
into a beautiful situation without even
Mhm.
changing the situation, Cam.
Hey,
I'm
man,
gonna say it
listen.
again. I'm gonna say it one more
Yeah.
time.
I'm
God
listening.
is the only one who could turn a bad situation into a
Into what?
beautiful situation without even changing the situation.
Yeah.
Cam, let me tell you something, man. Through all these experiences in life, I got tired of people playing in my face, man. I got tired of people, you know, acting like I ain't seeing what they saying about me, and you know, like they ain't, you know, being disloyal and unfaithful to me, like I'm just tripping, right? Like they
Mm.
treat me like I'm not who I am, like I ain't a child of God.
Mm.
You know what I'm saying? Maybe it's the
Mm.
Pisces in us that keeps us humble and calm, but they don't
Yeah.
know we are in his image. We really him. We really him. And I'm saying that through the image of God. You know what I'm saying? They don't know what I've been through. They didn't know the things that I've experienced, man. And I try my best to be quiet and humble, Cam. But can I tell you what I learned?
Tell me what you
uh,
learned, big
uh,
dog.
a good doctor by the name of Dr. Kendrick Lamar says sometimes you gotta pop out and show
And
them,
so,
Cam.
beep. Yeah.
Sometimes, Cam, you gotta pop out and show them. You gotta show them that just because I don't mean that I can't. You understand what I'm
Talk to
saying?
me.
The
Yeah.
reason that I'm the way I am is because God did this, Cam, not me. It's all glory to God. And I learned that if you keep on talking, man, I just might have to pop out and show you how good God is, Ken. So I'd rather them just sit down and be humble, so I ain't got to pop out and show them, Ken. You know what I learned? But it made
Yeah.
me feel good, Ken. Psalms 23 and 5 says, and I did a contemporary version. You treat me to a feast while my enemies watch. You honor me as a guest, and you will fill my cup until it overflows. I learned, Cam, no matter what people say about you or do to you, God will prepare a table in the presence of you before your enemies.
Yeah.
They gonna watch you feast, Cam. They gonna talk about you, Cam. You ain't gonna be a teacher, man. You ain't gonna be a football star. You ain't gonna make it A in Mr. Davis class. But sometimes you just gotta pop out and show them, Cam.
Yeah.
So I'm asking y'all, man, what have you learned? Show some love
Man,
in the
big
comments and tell us what you learned, man.
man, big dog, listen, big dog, you didn't drop about 10 scriptures. And I'm so glad you ain't hit the ones that I was finna get to, big
Yeah.
dog. So listen. So can I tell you about a couple of scriptures that I got?
Come on.
Man, scriptures like James chapter 1, verse 2 through 4, and First Corinthians chapter 10, verse 13. Those emphasize that trials and tests are opportunities for growth and learning, reminding us to view them as paths to perseverance, maturity, and reliance on God's strength. Okay, let's break down this James chapter 1, verses 2 through 4. What it says is, consider it pure joy, my brothers and sisters, whenever you face trials of many kinds, because you know that the testing of your faith produces perseverance. Keep that word in mind. Let perseverance finish its works so that you may be mature and complete, not lacking anything. You know, I'm a teacher, and I love giving my students motivation. So we have a slogan in my classroom called Rep It. We gonna rep it out. REP. And what the R stands for is resilience. Okay? Resilience is the capacity to adapt and recover from adversity, misfortune, or change. It involves maintaining psychological well-being and working through emotional pain. Okay. Resilient people are able to learn from adverse situations, see the positive, and embrace change as an opportunity for growth. Resilience. Then we got effort. Okay. So resilience, effort. What effort is a vigorous or determined attempt. That means you got a whole lot of energy when you attempting this thing. A vigorous or determined attempt. You have to put in the work because faith without works is dead. You got to apply some effort. You got to apply some effort. What have you learned? Then the last one. So we got R, then we got E, and then we go on P. We got to have some perseverance. There go that third word right there. Perseverance. Perseverance is the continued effort to do or achieve something despite difficulties, failure, or opposition. Okay, it's characterized by steadfastness and determination. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. So Corinthians chapter 10, verse 13. No temptation has overtaken you except what is common to mankind. And God is faithful. He will not let you be tempted beyond what you can bear. But when you are tempted, he will also provide a way out so that you can endure it. So let's break that. That's three parts right here. So it's three parts on that scripture right there. No temptations has overtaken you except what is common to mankind. What this means is that the challenges and temptations that you face are not unique or extraordinary. Okay, they are experiences that other people also encounter. You are not running this race by yourself. God does not give you something that you can't handle. When I was going through college, I had to think to myself. I was playing psychological mind games with myself. I was going through a storm, and I didn't think that I could make it in this college course. But then I said, hell, if everybody else can graduate college, why can't I? Why can't I? If everybody else can do it, then why can't I do it? Okay. The second part of that scripture, and it says, and God is faithful. Okay. We're going to talk about that later. I can't wait. He will not let you be tempted beyond what you can bear. This emphasizes God's faithfulness and promises that he will not allow you to be tempted beyond your capacity to withstand it. Okay. But when you are tempted, he will also provide a way out so that you can endure it. This assures you that when you are faced with temptations, God will also provide a way to escape or overcome it, enabling you to endure. Okay. So what have you learned?
Yeah.
Man, listen, man. Before I get into this, let me fix my light real quick. All right, so Maya Angelou has a quote, and Maya Angelou's quote, I'm gonna read it for you. This is what Maya Angelou has learned. She says, "I've learned that no matter what happens or how bad it seems today, life does go on, and it will be better tomorrow. I've learned that you can tell a lot about a person by the way he or she handles these three things: a rainy day, lost luggage, and tangled Christmas tree lights. I've learned that regardless of your relationship with your parents, you'll miss them when they're gone from your life. I've learned that making a living is not the same thing as making a life. I've learned that sometimes God gives you a second chance. I've learned that you shouldn't go through life with the catcher's mitt on both hands. You need to be able to throw some things back.
Yeah.
I've learned that whenever I decide something with an open heart, I usually make the right decision. I've learned that even when I have pains, I don't have to be one.
Yeah.
I've learned that every day you should reach out and touch someone. People love a warm hug or just a friendly pat on the back. I've learned that I still have a lot to learn. I've learned that people will forget what you said. People will forget what you did, but people will never forget how you made them feel.
Yeah.
That's what Maya Angelou's learned. So don't just exist,
Come
live.
on.
Live life to the fullest. That when you leave the world, your gravestone won't be the only proof that you've lived, but the lives that you've impacted, the memories you've created, and the positive changes that you've made. That'll be living. Live to accomplish your mission because God created you with a purpose. Now,
Yeah.
that's what Maya Angelou has learned. But
Yeah.
can I tell you what I've learned, big dog?
Come on. I thought you was gonna read it like Maya Angelou. What I've
Nah,
learned is
nah, that's what Maya Angelou's learned, big dog. But can I tell you what
come on.
I've learned?
Come on.
I've learned that God is. You can go ahead and fill in the blank however
Oh,
you desire. But matter of fact, let me go ahead and fill it in
come
for
on.
you, okay? God is my everything.
Man.
God is my joy and my sorrow. God is my hope for tomorrow. God is a wheel in the middle of a wheel. God is the truth, the way, and the light. He's a lamp unto my feet and a light unto my path. God is loving. God is caring. God is steadfast and unmovable. God is faithful. Okay, can I tell you what I've learned, big dog?
Come
God
on.
is
Good.
patient. Not only is he patient, but he's also present, meaning that he will never leave you nor forsake you. God is eternal. God is forgiving and
Yeah.
God is gracious, meaning that he's given me things that are that my no good dirty self don't even deserve. God is gracious. Not only is God gracious, but God is also merciful, meaning he's protected me from things that I do deserve in my life. I should be dead and gone, sleeping and stinking in my grave, but
Yeah.
God is merciful. God is my all and all. God is. And if you think
God
I'm done,
is.
I'm not done. God is my teacher in the
Yeah.
classroom. God is
Yeah.
my lawyer in the courtroom. God
Courtroom.
is my doctor in the sick room. Can I
Yeah.
tell you what God
Come on,
is?
Cam.
That's what I have learned. God is a friend to the friendless. He is
Come
a
on,
father
Cam.
to the fatherless. He's my
Yeah.
comforter when I feel uncomfortable. He's
Yeah.
my protection when I feel unprotected. Can I tell you what God is
Come
and what
on.
I have learned? He's my
Yeah.
provider. He's my shelter. He's my strong tower. He's my bridge over troubled water. He's
Yeah.
my faith in the midst of a fire. Can I tell you what God is and what
Come on.
I have learned God to be?
Yeah.
God is, big dog.
What is?
God is my
Yeah.
all and my all.
Yeah.
Yes, sir.
Hey,
God is the
man.
joy and the strength of my life.
My life. Yeah.
He moves all day misery. Yeah, come on,
Yeah.
man. Come on. I ain't
Hey,
finna
man.
sing to nobody. I ain't finna
God
sing to
is
nobody.
great, man. I love it,
Man.
man. Hey, Cam, you just spit some knowledge to these folks. I do have to tell them, man. It was a great prophet. I think the prophet name was Glorilla, and she said, "Every day the sun won't shine, but that's why I love tomorrow." You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
It ain't gonna be all gravy every day, Cam, but it's always tomorrow, baby. That's what I learned. That's what
Huh,
I
huh.
learned Prophet Glorilla. You heard me?
Man, that's what I've learned, big dog, and I'm sure the listeners and the subscribers or whoever's tuning in to this episode, the viewers, I'm sure they have learned something
Oh,
too.
they learned something.
God is my all in all. God is my everything. And I'm super thankful that He is that. I got a hoodie that say God is, and then on the back it got a whole list of things going down it. So man, I appreciate y'all for tuning in to another episode of the Cam Davis podcast. Shout out to my producer once again, Caden Bolding at CBFILM, and also shout out to my dog Rashid Brooks coming through on the ones and twos with the smile and keep the faith, sampled by Kirk Franklin. You know what I'm saying? So, hey,
Kurt.
Yeah, as always, y'all, much love, many blessings. Y'all keep on keeping on, and of course, smile and keep the faith.
See y'all next week.
Have to do is smile and keep the faith. Smile and keep the faith. Hey.
What's up, everybody? I appreciate you tuning in to another episode of the Cam Davis podcast. If you enjoyed what you heard, please leave a like, a comment, and if you're not already, go ahead and subscribe. The most important thing that you can do is share. So please go ahead and share this video because you never know who you might impact. And as always, much love, many blessings. Y'all keep on keeping on, and of course, smile and keep the faith.